Welcome back to another high quality video on the Business Made Simple channel, where education won't cost you a dime, only your time. Anyways, as you can see, we've upped the budget compared to the last few videos. We now have a green screen, so I can put whatever I want behind me. I could be sitting on a beach, I don't know, maybe use some magic. I have a pina colada in my hand, just relaxing. Or I could be running from a tiger, or I could be even worse, turning in a job application for him. But you all aren't here to see me play with the green screen for 20 minutes. You're here for your 5 minutes of content and then leaving. So I'm going to provide that to you all. Today's video is going to be focused on the 3 foundations of marketing, or the tripod method. So this information what I'm about to give you is derived straight out of a high quality book called Eric Huberman's Foundations of Marketing, ironically. It is a book that will run you maybe $16 on Amazon. I'll throw up an exact picture somewhere. Or you can probably go to the local library and get it, because that's where I got my copy from. But it is the basic know-how of whether you're an entry-level marketing student or, a multi-million-dollar business person. That's what the book says in the back. So, what are the 3 foundations of marketing? So first off, you have awareness. Awareness is how you get people to see your product. So it's going to be, picture yourself driving down the road and you see a billboard. It says Brothers Lawyer Incorporated or something like that. I don't know. And you look at it and you go, I want to learn more about it. And you go home and do some research. That's awareness. They got you to look at their company and look and kind of look into it. Same goes with YouTube ads. Maybe you got one beforehand. If you did, Susan, please give me my money. I'm broke. Or you can be just, on Google and you see an ad. That's still awareness. The next one, nurturing. Nurturing is the process of the transaction in itself. So your before, which is your awareness, during, how the experience is going. Is the product easy for the customer to get, or are they having a hard time, which will lead to a bad review? Or how's the customer service doing? And afterwards, this is the final part of the nurturing. Are you reaching back out to the person, checking up on them, providing new updates? Or are you just kind of treating them like a number in your giant sales funnel? And finally, the last one you'll see is trust. This goes without saying that if no one trusts your product, no one's gonna buy. And the very few that do buy aren't probably gonna recommend it because they don't trust it. They would hate to be the person on the other end that says like, hey, I recommend this to you. And the other person's like, man, I had such a bad experience. I'm never listening to John's, recommendations ever again. And now you're suffering as a company and John is suffering because he referred his friend to a bad site. Now, let's talk about this little tripod thing I was mentioning earlier, right? So I got my handy dandy tripod right here. So let's go ahead and clip this thing on real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna lay this out like how the book did, right? So, if you have missing any one of these 3, your whole company is gonna go down. So let's go ahead and treat this like, this is your company right here, right? This is where you'd set your camera, anything expensive, everything rests on this one platform right here. So you have your awareness right here. This is your awareness, trust, and nurturing. Let's go ahead, right? Let's see how the company sits when one is down. Oh, right, it doesn't. Now, let's go ahead and fix that. All right, so now we have all 3 in play. Looks like it's staying to me. And guess what? My sales are still going up too. All 3 of those not only help your company survive in the long end, but will also keep on increasing your sales numbers, keeping you out of bankruptcy. I was going to read a little excerpt out of this book about why you need the 3, but I'm just going to remember it off the dome because I cannot find it in the book. So, there was this big name company that Eric Huberman visited. Now, these are some well-off companies. This was a well-off company. Everyone in there was very experienced. And and they were a super trusted business. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they also, they send out emails following transactions and all that, like keeping it updated with the person. But they were still suffering in the sales. Like, they were still not doing as many as they wanted to. Well, just as we saw with that little tripod there that took a good fall, they were not aware. They did not sell right. And since they did not sell right, their sales obviously suffered. So different ways you could sell, I could recommend podcasts are a really, really good way. Because regardless, if you pay for an ad, if you pay for a little space and that podcaster talks about it, we're talking about getting like maybe a few thousand people sign up for your product. Few thousand. Now, when you go online like YouTube and all that, it's kind of riskier because everyone's skipping to the main content, which is what you're obviously here for. You don't want to sit through a 50-second skippable ad. And the final part the book mentions too is Facebook and Google ads are the way, because they are the two most commonly used. Like, if you can walk up to any single person on the world and be like, hey, do you use Facebook? And probably 1 out of 3 people will say, yeah, I use Facebook. Do you use Google? No, almost the whole population does. Guess what? If you have Facebook ads and Google ads, you're in a good place. That's a good way to start your awareness if you have no idea where to start. Now, the book does mention too, as well, and on top of this, is marketing is not cheap. Actually, if the economy is in a pretty good spot for your company, go big. That's what I recommend. I'm not actually, a man of business myself. I just record YouTube videos and report books. And before I finally close this video out, I want to touch on the trust more. I'm going to put this like how Walt Disney did. It takes 37 magical moments to make up for one bad moment. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all come back and watch me again. I have so much more marketing advice and so many more books to report on. Y'all will be blown away. Have a good day.